Conference on diversifying trends in technology and management, organized by CyberTimes and sponsored by Fidelity Solutions and Technologies, leader in cybersecurity and other IT solutions. Technically co-sponsored by CSI, Computer Society of India, Region 1 and Division 1. Co-sponsored by EC Council, USA, and co-sponsored by Protect 2013, Philippines, Tilak Maharashtra University, Pune, IDBI Bank, Hackett 9, IT Security Magazine, School of Computer Science affiliated to IT University, Delhi. So today, in the modern era, where all the things are getting dependent onto the technology, to implement security is itself a big challenge. And to manage it for long-term basis is a regular process which requires a lot of planning and strategies, etc. So in order to highlight this thing, today we all are glad that on behalf of Mr. JBC, we have Mr. Akash Aggarwal with us to share some valuable thoughts on this. Mr. Akash Aggarwal, Country Manager, India EC Council, based in Hyderabad, is responsible for EC Council's business operations. Also worked with SPL Technologies and NIIT. Over 16 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, client servicing, and people management. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Mukul Girdhar, Editor CyberTimes, to welcome Mr. Akash Aggarwal.
The organizers and the distinguished guests, presenters here, for giving me an opportunity to speak on behalf of my boss, Mr. JBC, who is currently stuck in a meeting with the Malaysian Prime Minister because this meeting was to get over by yesterday evening. Could not. Mr. Babisi operates this EC Council out of 92 countries and is a great proponent of cybersecurity all over the globe. So let me take you through a presentation which probably he would have given. He would have done a better justice to this, but let me try and give it to you the perspective of what I am doing with my team here in India to actually help this country be aware of cybersecurity and also how to come out with a solution from the school children level. I'm not talking about the top experts, I'm not talking about the middle level, I'm not talking about all, but I'm talking about people from all pervasive, wherein we can attack everyone and educate everyone as to what is this cyber security and how to find a solution out of it. I'm sure all of you paper presenters, you would have thought some or all of it. Let's have a look at what I have to say to you. So, there's a saying which says that when the rate of change outside exceeds the rate of change inside, your end is at sight. This is what we all work in EC Council. Which means, let me give you one example. I'm sure you all understand what I'm trying to say about this. If you don't realize today the maladies or the dangers from cybersecurity, believe me, the end is at sight. Some of the speakers, distinguished speakers, they mentioned about some hack attacks, something. I have some slides to show you what happens. So let's see what happened to one of these companies which probably 5 years back did not see the rate of change outside. I'm talking about a company, and I picked it up from the magazine money.cnn.com. So you can see there, it says an iPhone which came up around 4 or 5 years back, the iPhone has more revenue than whole of Microsoft, which was the cynosure of IT industry. So this is what happens. I have tons of other examples. I would have gone into Kodak, I have gone into Sony, I would have gone into other examples as well. So taking a simile out of it, it's important for all of us, and following my slides would show you why is information security very, very important. Today, if you actually look at it, terrorism, fire, strikes, political instability, all these things are all over the newspapers all across. The losses that we suffer out of this. When we talk about information and cyber insecurity, it tops it all. The data itself speaks about it, that if we don't care about it now, we are nowhere. Why it is important? Why it is important for this country? Why am I talking here? Why are we gathered here? Why Security Group has organized this particular thing? You know what? India is the supplier to the world. I mean, there are some statistics given at the bottom of the slides you can see. It's a supplier to the world. It's not only in Bangalore or Hyderabad where I live. There, the security professionals are there. I'm talking about the Silicon Valley. I'm talking about all of the places where our people, the Indians, are based, who are getting studied in institutions like IIT or IIIT or NIT, so many of them in India, and they go out and they work. If we don't tell them about the maladies of this fact here, probably the whole world is going to get jacked. Let's see how. Let's talk about Indian market scenario. 50% of our contracts are on renewal this year. Someone mentioned about people talking rough about India, the power outage for 3 hours. I'll tell you another case. I've lived in Delhi for almost 8 years. The Delhi rape case, it was a very, very unfortunate incident. How was it reported there in one of the foreign media that I saw in US? They said, if this country cannot keep its citizens safe, how do you think they'll keep your data safe? How do you think they'll keep your software safe? That's the problem with us. That's where we need to educate ourselves. More than the policies, more than anything else. We have to, the students of engineering, the students of software, the students of computers, they have to educate themselves. Let's see some of the attacks. I mean, Mr. Rajiv has already shown some of them, but I'll just tell you, India ranks 5th among the cyber crime affected nations. We are the targets. We are the very vulnerable targets. And this is when most of the cyber crimes are not even reported. We all know this. Can you imagine this? I'm sure you have all read this. Our government accepts this fact that we were hacked. This all newspaper cuttings, I'm bringing it out to you. We accept that we were hacked. And someone told me, I don't have a data to support this, but someone told me that 95% of the hacks are never reported. Imagine what I'm talking about after showing you this stuff. Half of the government websites in India are prone to cyber attacks. Such a big project, Aadhaar, I'm sure many of IITians would have gone into that project to work on very crucial software there. India among key Red October victims. Red October, as you would know, or ROKRA for short, the cyber spying campaign was launched in 2007. You know, whenever there is a cyber attack all across the globe, whenever the hackers, they actually organize the attack, India is one of those targets, prime targets. They never forget India. We are not like out of 210 countries we have in the globe, we are not 208 or 209, we are 5th. Out of 210, we are 5th vulnerable country. 90% of, I would say, all the Indian companies report small or big. Even when, a startup, let's take an example of a startup. I was delivering a lecture in IIM Ahmedabad, and there I was talking about the entrepreneurship development cell that they have. There, they incubate companies, and there they have an expert to evaluate the servers on cloud where these websites, the startup websites, are placed. which means I can safely say that 100% of Indian companies are now looking at it. People in colleges, are you guys ready? Have you studied? Are you educated in cybersecurity? I'm not talking about knowing about cybersecurity, or I'm not talking about being scared about cybersecurity. I'm talking about being educated, knowing about cybersecurity, how to come out of it. Let's see. And we are sitting in one of the best institutions in the country. Let's talk about those smaller places where they don't have those facilities this institution would have. Nearly 80% of Indian businesses, so they all confess. They all confess. But what's the cost? The cost is humongous. The cost is global. And I would rather say that this is just a tip of iceberg. I don't believe these statistics, whatever I picked up, for a simple reason that they're in history. I mean, it runs into, just imagine, there were certain names taken of some of the leading industrialists on this dais today, and imagine one of the tenders was picked up by one of those companies was 20,000 crores. What if the computer on which the details of these tenders was there got hacked? We all know the maladies of it. The cost mentioned is really minuscule. It runs into tons. So, what are the problem points? I want to specify on this. Mukul just asked me not to take more than 15 minutes, so I'm going to rush through it. And what are the problem points? I want to dwell on this. I'll not read this out, but what are the problem points? I see only one problem. I see only one problem. That my friends, my young friends, I was in college almost 20 years back, but my young friends who are still in engineering colleges, are you aware of what are the parameters of these cybersecurity? Are you equipping yourself with that? All those guys who are presenting a paper today, go back. Are you going to educate your classmates, etc.? That what are the maladies, what are the dangers of this? That is very important. Go, do a small survey. Won't take much. I mean, just doing survey these days is very simple. You put up a Facebook status and everything is done. So you put up a Facebook status. Then today I presented a paper. Tell me, how many of you know about cybersecurity? Believe me, not more than 15 to 20% of people would have a clear idea of what cybersecurity I'm talking about. So if there are 2 million people studying in engineering colleges today, and if I take out only 20% of them, which is approximately 4 lakhs, if my maths is correct, what happens to 1.6 million more? They won't know it. Tomorrow they are all going to work on computers. Yes, even the doctors, even the lawyers, even the pilots, everyone works on computer. Let's see. So that's what is the problem point today. Fortunately, we are coming up of age, but we are a bit too slow. Maybe because of government policies or because of our own depth of penetration into the society as to how far, how deep we can go into it. But I feel if countries like Israel, which is a small country, can do it, if a country like North Korea, where the food is a problem, I mean, you go to North Korea, you'll find them fighting for food and they have tons of missiles and nukes there. If they can think about it, or if a tiny country of 3 million people, 3 million is like not even horse cars. Singapore can do it, why can't we think of it? We are the software capital of India, of the globe. That's a big problem. We might have people, we might have software engineers and computer engineers all across, but believe me, they do not know how to produce secure codes. That's a problem everywhere. There was a recent, this was argued by both Dr. Gulshan Rai, Kamlesh Bajaj and everyone who said that I don't know where this 4.7 lakh came out in the front page of Times of India, but that said that 4.7 lakh cybersecurity professionals. If I even take 4.7 or 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 50 lakhs, whatever number is there, but we need it, and I really welcome this path wherein UGC and AICTE, they have introduced and made it compulsory for all the universities to include information security into their curriculum. Believe me, I thought that someone is thinking in India to actually make it. Someone is thinking in India to actually make it that yes, people to come, the generations to come, they will have information security, knowledge, education, skills about information security. So guys, not everything is so gloomy. I'm just trying to scare you off by telling you all the maladies, but yes, they are very true. You're all well read. You're presenting your papers on this today. You know it very well. My request will be you go back and do it. Now, who is a cyber security professional? A guy who knows how to write good codes? But where? Yeah, there could be a whole lot of argument on it. I'm not going into an argument mode right now, but let's think from a point of view. When I was of your age, I was in college, Yahoo was not even there, and I worked on PCXTs and those things, which, you wouldn't have heard of. My first computer was like not even GBs and hard disks. But today, computers are different. We are in post-PC era. I don't think any one of you here will be working on a desktop anymore. I stopped working on a desktop almost 8 years back. I stopped working on, say, the laptops almost like 2 years back. Today, we are all working on tablets. We are working on phones. Well, you work on laptop just to create those spreadsheets or something you're writing. Apart from that, most of the time, if I talk about 10 hours if you work on a computer, I'm sure 9 hours would be on the tablet or an iPhone or something. So all I'm trying to say is, who is a cyber security expert today? And most of it, the problem is, I'm sure everyone would be carrying a smartphone here, most of you at least. And how many of you know that the Bluetooths are on? Don't care, right? If you don't care, believe me, someone is stealing your data as you listen to me. Wi-Fi connectivity. And there are tons of other sorts of connectivities which are coming in. This is a computer. My boss has an apartment. I clicked that photograph there from his apartment in New York. He has an apartment wherein actually we went there to visit him once. And there's a temperature control knob, which he can control it remotely through his iPhone. There is some app he uses, and by the time he reaches his apartment, it's all warm. That's a computer, isn't it? Our cybersecurity expert needs to take care of that. Someone should not hack. Someone should not put it at overheat. I hack into this. I put it at overheat. God only knows what happens after that. Then computer comes in funny names and funny shapes and sizes. They can come in any shape and size. That's the post-PC era I'm talking about. The pack of cigarette there is just to show you the size of other things. I'm sure some of you would have heard about it. They are all available on the net. You go to eBay and you'll find it. You can actually buy less than $100 something like that. Now what am I trying to say? How do we percolate this thing below? What do we want? What do we like? Now, if you actually go to Facebook, I did a small bit of observation on Facebook. I saw that which particular status update gets maximum like. Either it is Sachin Tendulkar or Aishwarya Rai in India, or if you put up some kind of a challenging question there. and suddenly you will have light. So everyone, you see these days this IPL in cricket is going on, or there is a football World Cup going on, or there is a rugby match going on. Believe me, everyone will get hooked to that particular thing. So we thought, let's do it this way, and we thought it almost like 5 years back when we wanted to educate people through games. We launched something called World Global Cyber Olympics. 52 countries and 3,300 plus teams which participated in it. From the tiniest Burkina Faso to the mighty Netherlands to the mighty US, and India lost. Australia won last year, 2012. So what did we do? We gamified it because we wanted everyone to know about cyber security. Games apart, prizes apart, it educates you. So guys who are presenting papers here, go back to your college, do something of this sort. Believe me, that's what you're going to go give back to your society. That's really, really important. You don't do it, we are not going to get any further outsourcing jobs. Indian IT industry would be in danger. When Indian IT industry is in danger, what happens to my job? What happens to your job that you are aspiring for? There are many other countries who are learning English very, very fast. The jobs are going to go away. So, fair enough. This is global cyber Olympics. What about India? There are certain hackathons going on in certain institutions here. What we did, we thought to know what is cyber security, to reach proactively, tell me what is cyber security, tell me, do I have it in my curriculum, go to the principal, ask him to get into the curriculum. That's all I wanted to say from my side. Thank you so much.